I've always felt like I've been a competitive guy. In video games, I was hella competitive. I wanted to be the best, and if anyone was better than me, I'd grind and grind and grind until I was better than them. And I'd hate to lose. I think we might have that in common, me and you. We hate to lose, and we love competition. We love being able to truthfully be better than someone else, and we don't think that's something bad. Why should we? That's natural. The only issue is that I was competitive and I put a lot of my time, energy, and effort in the wrong things, such as video games. But now I feel like I'm doing it in the right things, and I'm actually beating my competition in games which are actually so much more important. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to get ahead of 99% of the competition in 6 to 12 months. I'm just going to give you a disclaimer as well, by the way. That's kind of just for the title, because like clickbaity and like, you know how YouTube is. But genuinely, I do believe that if you carry this mindset, you will be able to get ahead of 99% of people in 6 to 12 months. I'm going to drop some game in this video. But before I get into the mindset, there's something there's something you need to learn first. As a man, you can't afford to waste time, because life as a man is a competition. Most people don't want to believe this. There's people out there who say cringe things like, "Oh, I'm only competing with me. I'm just trying to get 1% better every day." They don't want to accept that this is a competition, but we kind of, deep down, we know it's a competition. We know that we're competing against other guys. Have you ever had a crush on a girl and then saw her choose a different guy? That's painful. You want to know what the truth is? That is competition. That is the competition you are in. You are competing for the money you want, for the girl that you want, for the success that you want. We are in a competition. You are competing against me. I am competing against you. And those guys who say they're not in competition, we're also competing against them. But the truth is, those guys who say we're not in competition, that they're just trying to get 1% better, we're so far ahead from them. Me and you, we're so far ahead because they don't even know what's hitting them. By the way, the reason these guys say to people like us who say we're in competition, the reason these guys say to us, "Oh, I'm not in competition, I'm 1% better every day," you know why they say that? It's because they're losing. Just imagine the competition like a race. They're so far behind in the race. They're like the fat kids in school who just didn't even bother running, so they just like walked slowly through the track. They're so far behind that they'll chance us running ahead, saying, "Oh, we're not even in competition anyway. Competition is stupid." They're losing, and if you listen to them, they will drag you. They'll grab your throat and drag you back to being a loser. Back to living a life that you don't want to live anymore. So we now know that we're in a competition. So we're going to use a mindset to absolutely annihilate the competition. Because the competition aren't thinking like we are. We're killers. And so what we're going to do is carry this new mindset. And the mindset is to act like the competition is doing everything perfectly. If you see that girl that you want to approach, your competition is doing everything perfectly, they're going to go and approach. If your competition are working on business right now, but here you are fapping, you can't do that anymore. You need to go and work because the competition is working. And they will take the success that you want. They will take everything that you want, and you will look at them and just wish that you did the right things. You don't want to live like that anymore. Understand? Say that with me. We don't want to live like that anymore. So we need to act like the competition is doing everything perfectly. And the truth is, I'll be honest, the competition that we're in, not everyone's doing everything perfectly. But how does that benefit us? How does it benefit us? Because there might be that slim chance that one guy who is doing everything perfectly, and now he's going to take what you want because you were fine slacking. Unacceptable. So there's two ways which I like to use this mindset. You can pick either one. The one I personally like doing, which is hella extreme, but it'll push you to the next level. You could imagine that the competition is already ahead of you, and the only way that you can catch up to them, imagine it's like a race, the only way you can catch up to them is if you do everything perfectly. You don't miss your bedtime, you don't fap, you do the work, you go to the gym, you hit the sets, you hit the reps. If you do everything perfectly, you might just be able to catch up to your competition. Or you could imagine that they're at the same starting point as you, but your competition is just doing everything perfectly. And so you don't want them to race ahead of you, right? You don't want these guys to race ahead of you. So you need to do everything perfectly as well. And even though I said earlier, the competition isn't doing everything perfectly, if we pretend like they are, we are now that competition. We are now the guys who are doing everything perfectly. Who can compete with us if we're doing everything perfectly? Who? No one can compete with us. Because we won't eat that junk food, we won't watch porn, we won't play video games, we will do the hard work, especially when we don't feel like it. I want you to do an action step right now. There's two of them. One's going to be constant and one's going to be a one-time thing. The first action step, do this right now. You need to do this right now because the competition is going to do this, and if they do this, they're going to take what you want. So do this with me right now. You're going to get a piece of paper or something, maybe put it on your phone. You're going to get something which says, act like the competition is perfect. You're going to write it up on your wall, or you can write it on your phone lock screen, just somewhere where you will constantly see it. For example, I've got it here. I'll show you. Act like the competition is doing everything right. You want that there just to remind you about this mindset. And then also, constantly, always ask yourself, what is the competition doing? If the competition was perfect, what are they doing right now? And am I doing that? If not, get to work. Because again, you don't want them to take what you want. Because the truth is, they genuinely will. I know this sounds like an exaggeration, but sometime in the future, you will see your competition take something that you want. You will see your competition flirt with the girl that you had a crush on and then take her, and you'll be sat there looking at her Instagram, wishing she was with you. You don't want that. You don't want that. Now we've got a bit aggressive in this video, talking about, oh, the competition's going to take what you have, and like, you can't mess up whatsoever. You will mess up sometimes. I mess up sometimes. I don't do things at the exact time I said I was going to do them. I don't record as many videos as I said I was going to do. Sometimes I don't go to the gym. Sometimes things just happen. You will probably eat the junk food. You will fap again. You will play video games again. But we want to make it so insignificant that it's like, it doesn't even matter that much. We would like to be perfect. Of course we would. We'd want to be able to do everything perfectly. If we literally just set ourselves out like robots and we just did everything perfectly, that'd be fantastic. But we're human, so we aren't perfect. The idea of this is that if we act like the competition is perfect and we behave as if we are the competition and we are perfect, even if we mess up, we're still going to make so much more progress and work a lot harder than if we were just fine slacking off anyway. And it can be scary and difficult at first to see that everyone's in, like, you're looking at everyone and they're in competition with you. And it's going to be difficult because it's like, oh, but I really don't want to do that, but I'm going to have to do it anyway. It's difficult at first, but the more progress you make and the harder you work, I promise you, you will realize how easy it is to win. I want to leave with a quote that I got from Hamza, which Hamza got from, I think it's like a book by a group named the Wall Street Playboys, something like that. But the quote goes, it's easy to beat 99% of people because they're not even trying. But the competition at the 1% is cutthroat. And that is so true. 99%, like, imagine in school, right? If we took 100 guys from your school, most of them aren't even trying. If you're watching videos like this, if you're educating yourself, if you're willing to work hard and put in the effort and make progress, it's so easy. Out of 99, like literally 99 of those 100 guys, guarantee you're the only one in this movement of self-improvement. Bars. If you're educating yourself like this, you're thinking about these like deep mindsets, you're gonna beat them. It's gonna be so easy to win, because let's think 50 of them still watch porn. Literally 50% of them still watch porn. And then an extra 20%, maybe they've stopped watching porn, but what do? They eat junk food, they play video games like 24 hours like a day, they get no sleep. Maybe like 2 or 3 other people, maybe they go to the gym, but they're not even training hard in the gym. They're not educating they're not educating themselves like we are. So it's going to be so easy to win. So I want you to leave with that positive mindset. If you want to learn more self-improvement mindsets from a small YouTuber, hit the subscribe button. Safe.